more.
It was a fishing expedition.
The summary is, not only did the FBI not find any nuclear bomb codes, they also found no evidence of Trump looking to leverage, sell, or use the government's secrets. And so there were no nuclear secrets or anything, and they finally had to admit it. To their credit, they have a link to the Novato article. So, like the Sherlock Holmes that I am, I went and read the original article during the last commercial break. And much of what was said was true. It's just as I described it. One, he wanted the mementos because he's an avid collector of mementos. That's known about him. His office is full of them. Every wall, every space is full of mementos of sports and meetings and whatever. Second thing is, he believed if he wrote the letter, it was his. Which is a very Trumpian thing to believe, even if somebody says, no, Mr. President, actually the National Archives Act of 1976 says blah, blah, blah. He'd say, no, I wrote it, it's mine. It's a very Trumpy thing to do.
Yep.
But in reading through the article, it's much more balanced than that super right-wingy thing described. There were descriptions of Iran's missile systems, highly classified information about defense capabilities of other nations, highly sensitive intelligence work aimed at China. According to, and again, what the hell's going on with this? People who are kind of whispering about what they found, which is highly improper. And again, if this stuff is accurate, it seems pretty reliable because it's pretty measured, but the only reason I bring this up is you've got to be careful of your sources. There are truckloads of money, trainloads of money being made telling you what you want to hear. Now, if you want to just go with that, it's none of my business. You live your life how you want. But, you know, especially if you're going to send it to us, take a look at the source. Is the source reliable? Is it solid? Or is it just kind of a red meat churner? Because, I mean, come on now, folks. We, you, us, mock the crap out of lefties for watching MSNBC and thinking Joy Reid's telling the truth. They're fools. They have no perspective. They're in their bubble. I'm not going to mock people in bubbles and live in one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It does seem that some people just naturally have a hunger to want to know what exactly is true, and some people have very little hunger for that. I really want to know what is actually going on with various stories.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just what I do for a living, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm always embarrassed when I'm wrong about something.
Yep, I agree.
And so I'd prefer not to be. That's part of it, honestly. I mean, when you're on stage in front of quite a few folks, you'd prefer not to make a jackass of yourself, which we still manage to do on a semi-regular basis.
Right.
I'm fully willing to admit that.
Shockingly often.
So go figure this for me. Washington Times, conservative publication, very good paper, /website. What's a paper, Joe? Well, it's when they print out a website for some reason. It's a website, WashingtonTimes.com. Kamala Harris hits her stride as White House grooms her to replace Joe Biden on 2024 ticket.
See, that is a story that got planted by Kamala people. I don't know how they do that. Did they do
but
it
in the Washington
Times?
From what I understand, reading about this my whole life, you do it for access. You do it for, you make an agreement. When she runs, you'll have, access to do interviews and that sort of stuff. And so you do it. You put the puff pieces out there. That's the way it used to work, anyway.
Even the conservative Washington Times. I mean, that explains this perfectly. Vice President Kamala Harris departed Wednesday for a week-long trip to the Indo-Pacific region, the latest move by the White House to burnish her image as the logical successor to President Biden if he won't or can't run in 2024.
Let me look at it this direction. Can you come up with a journalistic reason they would have that headline?
No. But wait, there's more. After a rocky start in office that included frequent staff turnover and her struggling in television interviews, Ms. Harris may have found her footing in recent months.
They've been hiding her.
Have you seen that?
No, they've been hiding her for months. They found her. She's found her footing in that they lock her in a basement to make sure nobody hears her say something stupid.
Indeed, Washington politicos see a concerted effort by administration officials to get Ms. Harris out in front, both domestically and on the world stage. Says Patrick Basham, director of the Washington-based Democracy Institute, quote, "They're trying to send a message to other potential candidates that they need to cool their heels because Harris is very much in the on-deck circle." This is one of the crappiest loads of crap I've ever read in my life. In the Washington Times. I mean, oh my God. Kamala's people said, listen, you run this 40-gallon barrel of whipped cream bullcrap. And when it's clear that Joe Biden has lost his marbles, we will tip you off. We will be your anonymous tip.
When it's clear the president has lost his marbles.
Come on. Yes, I'm telling you. The math works. Had a Kefcare.
And then one unimportant thing before we take a break, but I just think it's interesting from I think I remember this from high school working this way too. Pete Davidson, the weird-looking comedian from Saturday Night Live, has yet another super, super hot girlfriend. Somehow, who was the first? Was the first Ariana Grande?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I think so. Might as well have been, yeah.
For whatever reason, the young Ariana Grande fell for Pete Davidson when she was on the Saturday Night Live show, and they were engaged for a while. And somehow that launched a self-described, awkward, couldn't get a date. I mean, that was his whole act coming up as a comedian.
Struggles with mental illness?
Yeah, self-described, not good with the ladies guy. She launched him into, well, I guess he must be desirable. And then so every hot woman on the planet has decided that you got to date him. And a whole bunch have, of various ages. And I could go through the list if you wanted, but you're probably not that interested, including, of course, Kim Kardashian. And now this Emily Ratajkowski woman.
Ooh.
Who's one of your crazy super hotties, who most recently was dating freaking Brad Pitt. So Pete Davidson runs in the same circles of the dating as Brad Pitt. Because somebody don't you kind of remember this from high school where like somebody somehow got in that circle as like, okay, I guess. I mean, they're just part of that crowd.
Not sure I can think of an example exactly, but ladies, what's going on with this? Mailbag at ArmstrongandGetty.com. And yes, I've heard that he has an unusually large unit.
That's not it.
Although that would if that's the answer.
No, that's anyway, it's kind of, yeah. No, he's got to be wondering himself sometimes. I'm dating Brad Pitt's exes? What? All right.
Well, let's let her roll.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in the way of this train.
Yeah, well, ours not to question why. Ours but to sleep with Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah. What's the other thing I wanted to get?
She's no Kamala Harris, but she's attractive.
Why'd you say that?
I don't know.
Were you just trying to fill time? I feel like you were just trying to fill time.
Let's just closing the tab.
Said something nonsensical. U.S. News and World Report out with their latest school rankings, even though it was proven just a couple of weeks ago that it's completely fraudulent. Among other things on the way. Stay with us.
Armstrong and Getty.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brad Kitchen, best-selling author and star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, The Baby Boomer Dilemma, at 1-800-506-2020. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you'll get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. So don't delay, call right now, 1-800-506-2020. That's 1-800-506-2020, 1-800-506-2020.
It's a new day because COVID vaccines just got a big update.
So all the big stuff coming up this fall? Well, now you can say, you bet I'll be there. Because updated